All along this border, as in most parts of West Africa, people cross easily without any visa. This is an example of the borderless Africa that the AU wants to promote. Traders entice passers-by with mangoes at this border stop between Benina and Manduba. Mangoes are vital to the regional economy. There are ambitious cross-border plans to jointly capitalize on a growing global market in mangoes. The Kenayeridan mango processing plant in Sikasso produces dried mangoes for the European market. It also provides local jobs, especially for women. The factory joins forces with established mango producers in Burkina Faso to export its products. It's another example of the strengthening cross-border ties between Mali and Burkina.
Les frontières en fait existent, mais pour les acteurs, ces frontières ne doivent pas constituer une barrière. C'est pour cela qu'ils ont confiance dans cette coopération qu'ils entreprennent ensemble, et parce qu'ils ont compris qu'il faut une intégration non seulement des populations, mais une intégration des activités économiques. Et pour cela, on ne peut pas tenir forcément compte des frontières. C'est pour cela que c'est fort dans leur esprit qu'il faut dépasser ces frontières.
Other demarcation projects are underway in Zambia, Malawi, Tanzania and Mozambique. The AU is also promoting cross-border trading. In this tranquil area of southern Africa, Malawi, Zambia and Mozambique meet. Government surveyors are travelling to an important landmark that has existed since the end of the 19th century. This is the Chuumba border pillar, erected by the British and Portuguese colonial governments. It's one of the few remaining boundary markers left behind in Africa by European administrations.
Well, this structure we are seeing here is actually a beacon or monument. It's a beacon which separates the three countries, Zambia, Malawi and Mozambique. Yes. So the boundaries of all these three countries start from here. Yeah. So we are going to see that Malawi is this side, Zambia is this side, and then Mozambique is this side.
The AU has been working closely with government surveyors to ensure borders are marked without obstructing the free movement of people and goods. This work also seeks to enhance the livelihoods of border communities. One area where the boundary has been demarcated is near Chipata and Mchinji. The village of Mgabi used to be entirely in Zambia, but has been split in two by the new boundary. This well, which served the villages of Mgabi, is now in Malawi. Anamiti has lived here all her life. She has a husband and 10 children. Anna visits the well up to 8 times a day to fetch water for cooking and washing. Because of the boundary changes, Anna's house is now in Malawi. But it makes little difference to her everyday life. Some houses in Mgabi have been divided in two by the new boundary. So the owners of this property have a living room in Zambia and go to bed in Malawi. Here, as in other parts of Africa, measures were taken to ensure that the lifestyles of villagers were not disrupted by boundary changes and that there was a proper sensitization process.
It wasn't very difficult in the sense that I think the two governments were very cautious. They came in and I think the demarcation was divided into two. We had first of all the sensitization process to sensitize the people who are living along the boundary to say this exercise is coming. So the people knew, and the people were actually assured that when these boundaries are, when this demarcation is done, that does not necessarily mean that it will be a barrier between the two countries, but rather it will be a bridge between the two countries.
The official border post at Mwami nestles close to Ngabi village. It's open round the clock for passing vehicles. Up to 20 lorries a day cross here, carrying timber, tobacco, food and other goods. If the paperwork is in order, it can take just 30 minutes to cross. But in most African countries, it can take days or even weeks to move goods across a border. Around 200,000 people a year cross here. They include local residents and traders who regularly come and go. Tourists also frequent this route, some of them on their way to see the Victoria Falls in western Zambia. While vehicles wait in the area between the Zambian and Malawi border gates, drink sellers seize their opportunity. Local food traders are also on the lookout for customers. Kondwani Banda makes about 40,000 Zambian kwacha a day, around $8. Next door, Matthew Kachingwe has been cooking meat here for 10 years.
Makasitoma amabwera ndithu ambiri panopo wena ochokera kumayiko akunja kani ku Zambia, ku Zimbabwe, Tanzania choncho.
The Malawian authorities have made crossing here much easier by moving their border post closer to the Zambian control point.
It has been very successful. It has always been there, but now that the boundary immigration authorities, those from Malawian side on the custom side, are now able to direct the people where to go to. Now that they know where the boundaries, they know where the immigration and customs posts are, people are easily using those routes, and in that way it has facilitated trade between the two countries.
Traders at Chipata Market in Zambia benefit from new simplified trading regulations drawn up by the two governments. Fruit and vegetables are traded easily due to reduced cross-border controls and minimal paperwork. The results of this relaxed trading regime are obvious.
Ichokera ku Malawi, ichokera ku Malawi. Then Siavonga, ichokera ku Mozambique. Then ichokera ku Saka, yamuno Mzambia. Then potatoes na eve ku Malawi.
Potatoes from Malawi are a special hit as the soil there produces a good crop. And it's not just one-way traffic.
We have tobacco, which goes to Malawi. We have sweet potatoes, which also goes to Malawi. We have bananas, which also goes to Malawi. So it's quite easy for our marketeers to cross the borders and bring their items within Zambia. Also, the Malawans, it's easy for them to cross the borders to go to Malawi.
Many bottled drinks also come into Zambia from Malawi. Cross-border commerce is flourishing. Tobacco is also a major cash crop on both sides of the border. These tobacco leaves at Kanyundula village in Malawi are being moved for sorting. Afterwards, they'll go for auction and export from the capital Lilongwe. Malawi and Zambia are planning to increase their cross-border trade. The cross-border cooperation between the two countries also extends to the management of wildlife parks. The Kasungu and Lukusuzi national parks work closely together. The Lifupa Dam at Kasungu attracts a range of animals, including poku, hippos and elephants. The countries have set up a Trans-Frontiere Conservation Area program. Under this scheme, the two wildlife parks will soon establish a radio link.
The radio network is for communication between National Parks Malawi and the Zambia Wildlife Authority. If there is an issue between us and them, maybe a poacher has killed an animal and has fled into Zambia, we can easily communicate with our colleagues in Zambia. The Zawa people would definitely look for that kind of poacher and do something about it. Even if there are animals that are moved into Zambia, it's very easy to track them because would say animals have gone into Zambia and can you take care of them? They would do so using the radio network.
Tourists who stay in this area will soon be able to crisscross between the parks with limited immigration formalities.
Tourists come to Malawi and they would like to see more. They would very easily go to Lukusuzi National Park and see whatever they can see there, because some of the animals might be present here but may not be present in Lukusuzi, and vice versa.
Other African countries are also cooperating across their borders to manage important natural resources. The AU is now facing the challenge of helping to make a new boundary between North and South Sudan. The new line will be strung out over around 2,100 kilometers. This is Sud Swamp, just one section of the border region. The swamp alone covers at least 30,000 square kilometers and more in the wet season. Many issues will be addressed while marking Africa's newest border. As part of these discussions, the AU wants to ensure that seasonal migration and cross-border movements are protected, and that local pastoralist communities can move unhindered in search of pasture and water. The AU will draw on lessons learned from other parts of Africa.
Africa is present in the Sudan. Sudan is important for Africa as much as Africa is important for the country of Sudan, and the African Union is present helping North and South Sudan to faithfully implement the Comprehensive Peace Agreement, and it's in that particular part of our mission in Sudan that we pay attention to the border issue. Here again, we don't want the outcome of the referendum of self-determination to generate tensions, to generate disputes, and to make of the two countries which would be developing back to back. Rather, we want them to be two viable states supporting each other and moving as much as possible towards integration rather than fragmentation.
In Addis Ababa, work is being carried out to build a new headquarters for the African Union. It's expected to be completed on schedule by the end of this year. As it looks to the future, the African Union has a powerful vision.
We need to be on the right course so that future generations succeed to complete what we are engaged in with full confidence. It is the only way forward for Africa is integration, and therefore borders would be symbol of past history.